Born before 1966? There is money sitting in your national insurance record right now, and filling one gap could add more than £300 a year to your state pension for the rest of your life. But there's a deadline that just changed, and the mistake I'm saving for number 6 is the one that quietly costs people the most. Stay with me until the end because most people get that last one completely backwards. Number 1, and do this before you spend a single pound. Check your record for free first. Go to Gov UK and search Check Your State Pension Forecast. Log in with your government gateway details, and you'll see two things that decide everything: how much state pension you're on track for, and exactly which years in your national insurance record are marked as not full. That word matters. A gap year is a year where you didn't pay enough because you were on low earnings, unemployed and not claiming, caring for someone, or living abroad. Here's the trap. People here top up your pension, send off nearly £1,000 to fill a gap, and get nothing back because that particular year would never have counted for them. Take Margaret in Leeds. She was about to post an £824 cheque to fill her 2011-12 gap, checked the forecast first, and saw that year already counted. She kept the lot. The forecast tells you before you pay whether filling a year actually lifts your weekly figure. If it already says you're on track for the full new state pension of £230.25 a week, you may need to buy nothing at all. If it shows a shortfall, it lists the cheapest years to fill and how much each one adds. 10 minutes on that screen is worth more than any tip in this video. Write down two numbers: the years showing as not full and the weekly amount you're forecast to get. You'll need both for everything that follows. Do not send HMRC a penny until you've seen that screen with your own eyes. Number 2, the deadline, because this is where the news actually changed. For 2 years there was a once-in-a-generation window that let you fill gaps going all the way back to April 2006. That window closed on the 5th of April 2025. It is gone. If you're only hearing about it now, I'm sorry, but I won't pretend it's still open. Plenty of channels will. Here's what is still true and still worth money. We're now back to the normal rule. You can fill gaps for the past 6 tax years. In the current tax year, that means you can still buy back years as far as 2020 to 2021. And the deadline to grab that 2020-21 year is the 5th of April 2027. After that date, it drops off the end, and you can never buy it again. A man called Derek learned this the hard way. He sat on a 2018-19 gap for years, meaning to sort it, and by the time he called it had already expired and lost £328 a year, every year of his retirement. So the urgency is real. It's just a rolling deadline now, instead of one big one. Every April, the oldest year you're allowed to buy disappears forever. If you've got a gap in one of those recent years and the forecast says filling it helps, that is a use it or lose it decision with a hard date on it. Put the 5th of April 2027 in your diary today. And remember number 6, because even with a real deadline in front of you, there's one situation where rushing to pay is exactly the wrong move. Number 3, the actual maths, so you can see why this beats almost any savings account. One full voluntary year on the standard class 3 rate for this year costs £17.75 a week. That's about £923 for the whole year. In return, that single year adds roughly £328 a year to your state pension, and it's paid to you every year for life, rising with the triple lock. Do that sum. You spend about £900 once, and you get £328 back every single year. That means you've made your money back in under 3 years. If you live 20 years in retirement, and most people watching this will, that one payment turns into well over £6,000 before the annual increases are even counted. Show me the savings account that does that. Sandra, 62, filled 3 short years for £2,700 and lifted her pension by nearly £1,000 a year. She'll clear that outlay before she's 65. The mistake here is treating it as a cost instead of an investment. People flinch at the £900 price tag and walk away from a £6,000 return. And it compounds. If you're 2 or 3 years short of a full record, filling each qualifying year stacks the same way. This is exactly why checking that forecast in step 1 matters. It tells you how many years you're short and which ones give you that return. Buy the cheap, high-value years first. Number 4, and this one is for anyone who was ever self-employed, even for a short spell. There isn't just one price for a missing year. If you were self-employed with small profits and didn't pay in, that gap can often be filled with Class 2 contributions instead of Class 3, and Class 2 is a fraction of the cost. We're talking a rate of £3.45 a week, under £180 for a whole qualifying year against the £900 for Class 3. Same year on your record, same boost to your pension, but paid at a small fraction of the price. Tony, a former self-employed plumber, was quoted £923 online, rang the Future Pension Centre, and was told his years qualified as Class 2. He filled 4 of them for £716 total and pocketed the difference. The number of people who pay the full Class 3 rate to fill a year that HMRC would have let them buy as Class 2 is genuinely painful. When you call the Future Pension Centre, and you should call before paying, ask them directly which class each gap year can be paid at. Don't assume the online figure is the cheapest one available to you. The catch is that Class 2 eligibility depends on how those years were registered, so you have to ask about your specific record. But for anyone with even a couple of self-employed years in the mix, this one question can cut your bill by hundreds of pounds per year. Never pay Class 3 for a year until you've confirmed it can't be paid as Class 2. Number 5. The gaps you might not have to pay for at all, because you are owed free credits. Before you buy anything, check whether the government should have credited those years to you automatically. If you raised children and claimed child benefit, you should have been getting home responsibilities protection or national insurance credits for those years, but plenty of records are missing them, especially for women who took time off in the 80s and 90s. There's a specific claim on Gov. UK, Form CF 411, to have those years corrected, and it's free. Some women have recovered 6 or more missing years in one go. If you looked after a grandchild under 12 while their parent worked, there are Specified Adult Childcare credits worth a full qualifying year each, around £328 a year onto your pension, and most grandparents have never heard of them and never claimed. Pauline in Bristol claimed 5 years of grandparent credits and lifted her pension by over £1,600 a year without paying a thing. If you were on certain benefits, carer's allowance or statutory sick pay, those years may qualify for credits too. The mistake is paying £900 to fill a gap that the government should have filled for free. So the order is, check the forecast, spot the gap, then ask, should this year have been credited to me anyway, before you reach for your card. Fixing a missing credit costs you nothing, and boosts your pension exactly the same as a paid year. Chase the free years before you buy a single one. Number 6. The one most people get completely backwards. Everything so far has been about topping up. But there are situations where paying more voluntary national insurance adds nothing to your pension, and people hand over hundreds of pounds for zero return. Here's the trap. If you were contracted out at any point, common if you were in a workplace or public sector pension in the 80s, 90s or 2000s, your forecast may already be near its personal maximum, and extra years past that point, don't lift it. Your forecast will show a figure called your COPE, and it explains why buying more years may do nothing for you. A retired teacher named Brian paid £923 to add a year, then found his contracted out record meant his weekly figure didn't move a single penny. £900 gone for nothing. Second, if you already have enough qualifying years to hit the full new state pension, buying an extra year is pure waste. The pension is capped at £230.25 a week, and no amount of extra contributions pushes it higher. And third, if you reached state pension age before the 6th of April 2016, you're on the old system with completely different rules, and topping up often doesn't work the way these tips suggest. So the backwards move is, assuming more years always means more money. It doesn't. Past your personal maximum, every pound you pay is gone for nothing. This is exactly why number 1, reading that forecast before you pay, is the whole game. The forecast tells you your ceiling. Buy up to it, and not 1 year beyond. So here's your one job this week. Log in and check your state pension forecast on Gov UK, and write down which years are marked not full. That single screen tells you whether to pay, what to pay, and when the deadline hits. If this helped you or someone you love, subscribe and share it with a friend born before 1966. Before that April deadline slips past them.